So to start out, as you guys can see, I have a 1991 Honda Civic hatchback. It's a DX. It's an EF model prior to the EGs and things. So it's a DX, so it wasn't the sportiest model. It doesn't have a passenger side mirror, which is honestly, in my opinion, I think is very cool. It is going to be an auto to manual swap, so I will be ripping that out. I'm hoping everything with engine-wise fits in here good. I don't plan on keeping the stock engine that is in here. I am swapping it, and I will in just a moment show you exactly what I am going to be swapping into this. I am very in love with this car. I haven't done much work on it other than gutting the interior out to get the dash out to then eventually remove the engine, which these will all be videos. I will be documenting this. I sit in here with my seat that's not mounted all sketchily like. Standard old school Honda wheel. Oh, horn don't work. Battery's probably dead. It ran great when I got it. Transmission was cracked, hence for the good deal. It has a little bit of rust here, which is fixable. There's nothing like structurally bad with that. There is some bad rust on the rocker panels, but there's nothing to the bones of the car that is extremely bad. When you're looking for something, if you're looking for a hatchback, you want to be looking for your pillars to be good here. You want to check the pillars up front. You want to make sure your floor panels are good. This was questionable to me once I ripped up the floor, but I've realized it's not going to be that bad of a fix. Now, this car was involved in an accident, and that is why it was taken off the road. Now, it's not an R title because it was sold prior to it being totaled, and it was owned outright. So there is denting to the floor, which will be worked out with a hammer, hopefully. And other than that, I'll it's a different day. I decided to pick this up here and just show you guys exactly what was going on in the engine. I forgot to film that day. I had some things going on. The engine I have, it is a K24A2. So I got this out of a local junkyard for an extraordinary steal for what it is. I got very lucky with the engine. I will be honest, I did pull off the valve cover already just to check something, and great news. I'll get the bolts back out of here and pull this off for you and show you exactly what I mean. This in here is the truly amazing part about this engine to me. It's hard to see. That side, 3-lobe cam profile VTEC. This side, 3-lobe cam profile VTEC. So it's got VTEC on intake and exhaust, like I was hoping for. And this did come out of a 2005 TSX. And I'm very, very, very happy I got this engine. A little bit of wear in here, normal standard wear. The cams look fantastic for what, for what it is. This was a junkyard engine. I'm extremely happy with what I got. But yeah, that's my plan for what I want to do with this engine going forward. Like, any suggestions, like if I'm having issues being stuck on something, please let me know. I'm going to throw in me removing the rear bumper, my front bumper, and my hood off of the EF, and I will have a separate video out of me removing my dash. Probably going to be separate. It may be in this video, I'm not quite sure yet. But I'm going to be removing the dash, trying to figure out some wiring harness stuff, removing my ECU, things like that. So please stay tuned. Okay, so what you saw me doing there was removing these clips here, these two screws there on that side, and sorry for the sirens, and these two screws on this side, and I'll get to the rest in just a minute here. So this is where you take your two screws out on both sides of the bumper right here, like I showed you guys before, and then right here you have your secondary like low lights. There's two bolts right here and right here on the other side, and then once you take those off, they should come right out. These come out super simply. It's a clip. You take off the two screws on the front, and you take this clip off, and they come out super easily. And yeah, that's that. I'll take this front bumper off, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so I just pulled the bumper off of the front, and yep. So that once you get it off the front, this is what you'll be looking at here. You can see all where your radiator stuff is and all that. That gives me less to do now for the front T support. So once I get this out, probably tomorrow or Saturday, or maybe even Sunday, I don't know which day I can get back to it. I'm gonna start ripping out the dash and all that stuff, leaving most of the wiring harness in place. I'm just taking the dash out so I can have easier access to my clutch pedal assembly, and then when I switch it from cable to hydro, I'll have easier access to run cabling through there, or lines, like hydraulic lines through there. So this is what we're working with. We've got the front rear bumper off, the hood off. Once I get the dash out, I mean, I can start stripping a lot more of the other stuff off. I can start working on the rust work that I need to do. And then once that's done, I can start working on this guy. And I've been working on looking for a transmission. I have a lead on a possible 6-speed transmission. Hoping that will pan out. So, yeah, I guess that's probably the end of the episode. Maybe not. Maybe when I get back to it, I'll probably end up throwing the dash removal in as well in the first video. So, yeah, all right. As you can see, I've removed my steering wheel, and I've started to remove my gauge cluster. There are connections on the back of your gauge cluster that will prevent this from being able to leave this. So just try your best to like finagle your head up in here and undo these connections, and then your gauge cluster will come right out. Now, this is just the start to the process of removing your dash. So I guess I'm probably going to end up getting way sucked into this tonight and finish it. But this is the start to the process of finishing your dash, or removing your dash. Get your gauge cluster out, and then you start removing the screws for your dash and stuff. And I'll show you exactly what that is. And your steering wheel comes off super simply. Super duper duper simply. You pop this little plate off. Try not to crack it or scratch it. I scratched it a little bit. I'm a little sad. Barely noticeable. But You just pop that off. It's just the center piece of your steering wheel. Very simple. Pops back in. I'm not gonna pop it back in yet. I just put it in a baggie. But yeah, it works very simply. So that's that. And so that was that for this video. This was part 1. I did miss a lot of what I did. Bumper wise, I spent a lot of time on the rear bumper, not figuring things out. In the next video, I will go back and show you guys what I did on the rear bumper before we get to the dash, fully to the dash. Yeah, I'll get better at editing as time comes. I'm very new to trying to edit it all, so if it doesn't look the best, I'm sorry. And if I'm kind of awkward on camera, I'm also sorry. That's terrible. But I hope you guys can stick along with the process for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.